What is up, guys? It's your boy Jar back with GPC week number 5, I believe. We are 2-2 your Toronto Staraptors, so we have a little bit of ways to go if we want to make playoffs, but we put ourselves in a decent position last week. We picked up a win, I believe, versus Johnny Risepool. Yep, it was a good win, good differential win. So this week we're going up against another one of our close friends, Jose. So a lot of people we've known for a long time in the GPC apparently. So we're going up against Jose, aka the Shiny Weavile. His link obviously description below, but he has a very, very scary team. Now, we took a look at the matchup, and I was kind of looking at the matchup, and I thought, at first when I looked at it, I'm like, geez, how am I going to beat this team? But, you know, when I started breaking down the matchup, I was like, alright, it's probably more even than I thought. I have a few things that can do a lot of work to him, specifically my Curum and my Beedrill, but obviously, because those two destroy every team. But let's go over what he's got. He's packing the Mega Latios. Obviously, that's a threat right off the bat. That thing could easily 6-0 our team if we are not careful with a Combine variant. Can beat Chansey 1v1 or Jellicent, but we gotta kind of find a way to build around that. That's probably the second biggest threat to my team. Clefable, which I'm expecting to come because it's his only real cure on Black Switching. However, I'm not too scared of it because I can always revenge it with Beedrill. Even a Kabia Berry almost dies from a Poison Jab from our set we're bringing, so not too big of a deal. Infernape, this thing is easily the biggest threat to my team. It could be Gracium Z or it could be Scarf. I'm expecting him to bring some Scarfer in order to outspeed my Mega Beedrill, because if he does not have something to outspeed Beedrill, it will literally just run train on his team. Mandibuzz, that thing I'm expecting to come as well, just because, you know, Mandibuzz is really, really good. It defogs. He doesn't want sticky webs on his side of the field, I'd imagine, with things like Infernape and Jolteon potentially coming. Metagross, this thing I prepped quite a bit for because I'm pretty scared of Metagross as well. If you look at my team, I don't really have too many great switch-ins. I have the Donphan, the Chansey, and the Celesteela, but it can run coverage for all of those, so we'll just have to see how we can beat it. Excuse me. How we can beat it. We have the Jolteon, which I'm not really expecting because I have the Donphan, and if it's AV, then it takes it on pretty well. I'm gonna get a drink real quick, one sec. Better. So, also we have Gourgeist. I kind of expected Gourgeist. It's not a terrible Mega Beedrill counter, but his next mod, Regirock, is an even better Mega Beedrill counter with its just sky-high defense. Gastro, I prepped quite a bit for Gastrodon because I was really expecting that thing to come. It can actually take on a mixed Curum that's not really committed to one investment relatively well. And Marini, he could bring dogs as usual. Marini, he could bring as a Mega Beedrill counter, but again, expecting more of the Regirock or the Mandibuzz to try and pivot. So, looking over this team, sorry, that's the battle. We'll get there in a minute. We're not there yet, boys. We're not there yet. Alright. But looking over Jose's team, the biggest thing I deduced about Jose's team is he has a gigantic speed gap. You look at this. Look at this. He's got Mandibuzz, which isn't going to run speed. Metagross at 70. And that Metagross at 70 becomes very key when you realize he has nothing in between that and Infernape at base 108. So the way I decided to break through Jose's team was just by bringing adamant, modest wall breaking. Because Jose, from what I can tell from his battles and knowing him a long time, he likes to pivot. He likes to make his initial switch-ins, and then he likes to pivot around as people try to make predictions into his other bulky walls. And he drafted a team that can help him do that with mons like Clefable and Mandibuzz, which generally just take hits really well. So my strategy for this game was just to break through his team by spamming the most powerful moves I can. So, Curum Black, Choice Specs, Terravolt, Earth Power for something like the Marini or the Regirock. Ice Beam, Choice Specs will 2-hit KO Clefable unless it's like max Spadef. HP Grass for the Gastrodon, and on this last slot I thought of running Blizzard, but if he's going to get rocks up, I would rather just be able to roost up, switch out, come back in later, and get more hits off if he still has his check, for example. Like, I'm assuming it'll be a Soul Vested Metagross. He's brought that a few times already. And this is the spread we're going with, 148 speed. This 263 speed was kind of a key benchmark I was trying to hit. It outspeeds basically everything. It's that Metagross that's Jolly. And outspeeding Jolly Metagross on Jose's team outspeeds literally everything except his really high speed tier, so that's a kind of key benchmark I was trying to hit with my offense. So that's Curum this week. Should put in a lot of work. He does not really have a great switch into Curum Black. Next up, we're bringing that boy Celesteela, the first overall pick, back again. This is a mixed wall Celesteela because if you looked at Jose's team very closely, you kind of see it's mostly special. You got things like Infernape and Metagross, yes, but everything else on the team pretty much will be special. Gastrodon, you got Jolteon, you got Clefable, Mega Latios, so I figured a specially mixed wall Celesteela would be my best bet, and that 96 in defense is to take a, not guarantee I will not be 2-hit KO'd by Metagross Thunder Punch, so that's very, very nice. Leech Seed, Toxic, because those two moves are great versus Jose's team. This thing actually 1v1s a lot of his team with a combination of Heavy Slam and Air Slash. I can hit Infernape hard, I can hit Mega Latios pretty hard, I can hit Clefable very hard, Mandibuzz I can wear down and beat 1v1. Metagross kind of walls me, but with the Leech Seed I should be able to stall it out, get a little bit of damage. Jolteon actually kind of walls my set, but that's fine. Air Slash was for Gourgeist, Heavy Slam Regirock, and Gastro I can beat 1v1 as well. So, that's the idea behind the Celesteela set, kind of a stally Celesteela set, very, very cool though. Spadef, Mixed Wall, minus speed, I like it. Moving on, we're bringing that boy, that girl, whatever, Chansey, the Eviolite Natural Cure. Bringing a Wish Chansey specifically for the Donphan, which we will get to a little bit later. But Toxic, because again, Toxic nice versus Jose's team. Wish Passing seemed very key. I thought about running Soft Boiled with Stealth Rocks, but I overall decided, you know, I looked at Jose's team, I'm like, you know, he has no Stealth Rock weaknesses. Like, besides the Mandibuzz, which defogs and roosts up on Chansey itself, he has no Stealth Rock weaknesses, so no really point in me bringing them this week. Toxic, Seismic Toss, Wish, Protect to support the rest of the team would be a little bit better. So, Donphan is coming, and this is the reason I want to Wish. It's a AV Donphan that's max with an Impish nature. This thing takes hits really, really well. It takes almost anything from Scarf Infernape. It takes almost any 3 hits from Scarf Infernape if it's not Adamant or Modest. Earthquake, Gunk Shot for the Clefable just to make sure that thing can't heal up on me, Knock Off, Rapid Spin to get rid of any hazards on my side of the field, and overall Donphan just can put in a lot of work while the majority of his team, and with Wish support from Chansey, actually put in a lot of work this game. Next up, we're bringing another key offensive member, Mega Beedrill, running that Sniper right away, but it will be adaptability, of course. Swords Dance, U-Turn, actually, Poison Jab Drawer, and the reason I'm running U-Turn is because I'm expecting Jose's answer to Beedrill to be a Rocky Helmet Mon, so instead of just U-turning out every single time and racking up damage on my Beedrill, I figured, alright, let me just slap Swords Dance on there, go Adamant, max attack, hit something with an adaptability +2 U-turn, and I only take 1. I still take the same Rocky Helmet damage, but I'm doing almost twice the damage I would if by just clicking U-turn and getting out of there. Also, the Swords Dance could make it so I clean up this team late game. At +2, I do 2-shot Regirock no matter what spread it is, even if it's like max, so that's very, very nice. Clefable dies, Latios dies, this outspeeds a lot of his team. I think he might be expecting webs, but I'm not bringing the webs specifically because I don't need them with this team. The only Scarfer I see coming is Infernape. I have ways to deal with Infernape, but Infernape, it's a little bit of a threat to my team as every fire and fighting fire type has been so far. I did not have room for Jellicent because I really wanted to bring this last mod for the first time. Choice Banded Blaziken, you see it's hitting that same benchmark as Kyurem, 263, 264. Choice Banded with Poison Jab for the Clefable, High Jump Kick for the Regirock, Flare Blitz for just everything else. He does not have a good switch into this unless the Marini comes, but if the Marini comes, that is just Kyurem switch in fodder. And also I'm running Toxic to hit the Mega Latios because it's the only thing that can take every single move I have on this spread really well. Obviously Toxicing Mega Latios is the first step to beating a Mega Latios. So that's the team we're bringing, wall breaking out the wazoo this week, and some bulk. So I will see you guys in the battle you saw a little bit earlier, so I'm just going to make a quick cut, and I'll see you in the battle. And we are here with our battle versus Jose. As you can see, he did bring the Mega Latios, Clefable, Regirock, no Gourgeist, he went with Regirock, Infernape, because obviously Infernape is coming versus my team, Metagross, and Mandibuzz. So basically everything I expected. Beedrill looks to put in a lot of work, Blaziken also puts in a lot of work this game, and Kyurem he has 0 switch-ins to, unless it's that Metagross, which is the only thing on his team that wants to take a Specs Ice Beam. So maybe running Blizzard would have been a little bit cheekier and better, but overall I feel like we built the team to handle Jose. But he still does have that Infernape and that Latios, which are both very, very scary threats. So let's just get into the battle, turn the music off, turn it on normal, and let's get into it. So I decided, looking at this team, alright, that could be a lead Infernape, and I'm still pretty scared of Infernape. It matches up well versus everything besides like a Beedrill, unless it's not Scarfed. Blaziken it matches up well against, so I'm just going to lead with Donphan, the one thing on my team that can take it, as he leads with his Regirock. And I'm like, alright, let me just get some chip damage on this thing. If I can weaken Mega Beedrill's counter, the more the better. Earthquake, getting a nice chunk of damage off, but here, I let my Donphan get Toxic, which is not good because it is my only Infernape check. Wearing this thing down is going to be key for Jose, so now I have to find out a way to keep this Donphan as healthy as possible. But that will not stop me from just clicking EQ again. Like I said, wearing Beedrill's check down is good for me. I actually predict the switch out, go for a knockoff to get rid of any potential item on this Mandibuzz because it was so obvious Mandibuzz was coming in. I take a little more toxic damage, and here I'm just going to make the switch out into my Chansey as he reveals the taunt, expecting my Stealth Rocks potentially. However, my Donphan is AV. So here I'm going to pull a double out into my Donphan because I expected the Infernape to come in and try and get some advantage on my Chansey. However, Regirock is his play of choice. I'm just going to click EQ again, no reason to overpredict. I feel like I have the ability to switch into anything on this team. I click EQ, he goes into Mandibuzz, and my Donphan, unfortunately, now is at 64%. Here, I make an aggressive play out because I feel like I'm a little bit on the back foot into my Kyurem Black as he goes for a taunt, and I get Kyurem Black in for free. Now, here, I'm pretty sure that Metagross is coming in. However, I just wanted, like I said, my strategy versus Jose is Jose likes to pivot. All right, and I knew I was gonna see these pivots throughout the game, so I'm just gonna click Ice Beam as the Metagross comes in. He takes a clean 25%. That is Assault Vested guaranteed. First of all, second of all, that shows me that this thing does not want to take these Ice Beams all day, so spamming them can work out in my favor. Here, I'm out into Celesteela. It's my Metagross check. He Meteor Mashes, does 18%. That's fine. Here, I'm just gonna fire off a Leech Seed, and I'm going to get some recovery. He reveals Thunder Punch, and unfortunately gets a crit. So a little bit unfortunate. However, with my leftovers and my Leech Seed recovery, I should be able to get out of range of a non-critical hit Thunder Punch, and I expect Jose to know this, switch out, so I'm just going to fire off another Leech Seed as the Mega Latios comes in, and I'm getting a lot of health back. So expecting Jose to want to expect Toxic or something like that, I'm just going to fire off an Air Slash because I, am terrified of Infernape pivoting in. And this is actually going to work out well for me because he's going to go for a Calm Mind. Think, alright, so this is a special Celesteela. I can set up on this thing all day. He's going to Roost. I am going to reveal the Heavy Slam, which from a Celesteela, even uninvested, does 44% to a Mega Latios. And with Leech Seed, that is an easy 2-hit KO. So my Celesteela will get out of this situation alive because of my Spadef investment and the fact that I clicked Air Slash right away instead of Heavy Slam and not threatening him. But that works great for me. One of the biggest threats to my team is gone. Celesteela getting a kill. He goes into the Metagross. I want to wear this thing down, so I'm just going to stay and stack my Celesteela. It does not do work versus much else besides this Metagross, and since it's so weakened, kind of good to sack it. So here, he could go into his Regirock expecting the fire move, but like I said, I know Jose. I know him. He's going to try and pivot into something like Mandibuzz or Clefable, so I'm just going to click Flare Blitz. I'm just going to play straightforward as Mandibuzz does come in. This thing is going to take 56% from my banded Flare Blitz, so the strategy already working. Here, I'm not going to overpredict. I'm just going to keep spamming my best moves. Flare Blitz, 20% for the Regirock, that's fine. So, and we also see the Rocky Helmet right there, so this is confirmed his Beedrill check. So here, I make a play out into my Chansey because I know I can take this Regirock on as he reveals the rest, so this Regirock could be a little bit of an issue, but this also could be set up fodder for Beedrill if I play my cards right. So, I'm going to set up a Wish here with my Chansey, and I'm going to just pass this into my Donphan. It is one of the actually, I'm going to make a play into Kyurem. I don't want to pass into Donphan because it's still at a range where it can take almost any hit from the Infernape. I passed to Kyurem because, like I said, I expected Roost, and I really want to start getting kills with Kyurem. So here, I'm just going to fire for another Ice Beam as Jose again tries to pivot around my threats, and this Clefable is going to take an Ice Beam to the face. That's 60% damage. And as you see, this Metagross is going to pivot in after that and still take that clean 26-25% from this Ice Beam. Unfortunately for Jose, I do get a freeze, but my play is always the same. It's out into Chansey, as he's going to stay frozen. So here I'm going to take a little bit of advantage. I'm going to throw up a Wish, but as you can see, he thaws after one turn. Meteor Mash does negligible damage to Chansey, so, and the fact that I'm pretty sure I catch this Wish on the following turn means that it's not too big of a deal. Or do I pass this one down? No, I catch this Wish, so not too big of a deal, that freeze. So Chansey's back up to full. The Clefable comes in, and here I'm just like, alright, let me just go out into my Beedrill. There's no way Flamethrower is coming my way. He's going to heal up, and now I am going to go for my play. I'm going to set up a Swords Dance. He will not sack the Clefable yet. He still kind of needs it to take a hit, potentially from Kyurem late game. I'm Swords Dancing up. I could have SD'd again here, knowing that this Regirock has not burned a single turn of sleep, but I did not know if this Regirock was going to be packing the Sleep Talk this week. So my best play, U-turn 55% from a Mega Beedrill. Jesus Christ, that thing is too strong. Out into my Kyurem Black once again, because Kyurem is bulky. I have the Roost in case I need to do it, as no Sleep Talk is revealed, so good for me. Here, again, Ice Beam, my play every single time. I'm clicking it, it does a lot of damage. As you can see, I was getting a little low rolled. It's just 27.2% that time to Metagross. As here, I'm expecting Bullet Punch. He's Assault Vest. I have a Kyurem and a Beedrill. No way he's not packing the Bullet Punch. I do not want to take this damage. So my play is out into Chansey, as always, to take this hit. And he gets a crit. Not a big deal to Chansey. Takes it. But every crit matters, so, you know. Here he goes out into his Clefable, trying to heal that thing up a little more. I'm going to throw up a Wish, and I'm going to get knocked off by this Clefable as I fire off a Toxic, trying to figure out if this thing is potentially Magic Guard and or unaware. If it's unaware, I can deal with it a little bit better, but it is Magic Guard, as Jose actually reveals the Heal Bell, so gets rid of the rest on his Regirock. Very good prep on his part. I'm just going to throw up another Wish, go out into my boy Donphan here, because I need this thing healthy, as Jose just clicks Soft Boil. Now, I probably should have just immediately pivoted back out into my Beedrill and kept Donphan healthy, but I wanted to scout the damage of a Gunk Shot on this Clefable because I wanted to see what my Donphan could do. 54%, very solid damage. No poison, no big deal, but my Donphan is back at 64, so I didn't exactly do a great job keeping it healthy. Here, out into Kyurem, my play, I expect him to Soft Boil up, and the thing about this is, Jose could click Moonblast here, but my Kyurem can easily take that with my HP investment. It's not even a 2-hit KO if he's uninvested, which from the damage I'm kind of expecting him to be uninvested. So, I'm just going to click Ice Beam no matter what, as I do, again, 65% to this Clefable as he goes for a knockoff. Now, you could say this is bad for me, but I don't really need my specs looking at the rest of his team. I'd rather Earth Power the Infernape, I'd rather Ice Beam the Mandibuzz, I'd rather Earth Power the Regirock. Switching up my moves isn't the worst thing for this Kyurem Black. So, him knocking off my specs, not the worst thing in the world. I will still be able to easily pick up the kill on this Clefable. He switches out into his Mandibuzz. I don't know if he expected me to overpredict, but I'm just clicking Ice Beam. Like I said, firing off big hits with Kyurem is my job. Click it again, this thing goes down. So, it's looking really good for Kyurem to just start picking up some kills. He goes out into his Infernape. I do not want to take a fighting move for the life of me, so I'm going to actually sack my Blaziken because he still has two things that can pivot into either of my stabs. So, it's not really worth it for me keeping this thing around for much longer, because although High Jump Kick probably could kill Clefable from the range it's at, it doesn't outspeed Infernape, and this Infernape is the biggest threat to my team. If I let Donphan take any more damage, I will be in a lot of trouble. So I sacked Blaziken. There it did its job, it broke through some walls, forced them to recover, no big deal. So he takes that damage, I go out into my Donphan. I really did expect Scarf, so I thought he's probably not going to stay in, but firing off an Earthquake is my best bet, as this thing takes it and goes down. So, nice play there by Donphan, getting another kill for his record this year. Goes out into his Clefable. I do not want to get Toxic stalled by this thing soft boiling up, so I go hard into Beedrill as he goes for a soft boil. Here I'm going to make the same play I did earlier. Actually, no, I actually Poison Jab here, expecting him to stay in and try and click Flamethrower or something, because the switch out into Regirock was so obvious. It wasn't asleep. It was at 50%. I thought it was just too obvious, so I decided, alright, he's probably just going to try and stay in and catch me. I'm in a Poison Jab. I already revealed SD. He really can't risk the SD at this point, so I'm going to click Poison Jab. Beautiful play, works out. Here he's going to go out into his Regirock as I make kind of a ballsy play and Swords Dance right in the face of this Regirock as he decides to get his rocks up, predicting my switch out into Donphan or something. So, I want to clarify why I made this play. This play was because I honestly thought I did not need Beedrill anymore, because, 1, if that Infernape is Scarf, I die anyway and lose to it. 2, if this Regirock kills my Beedrill, I just get to go out into Kyurem, I get to click Earth Power, I get to force the Infernape in, force that to kill me, then I can go out into Donphan, I'm pretty sure, and then actually what I could have done is, I probably wouldn't have if I'd have seen him switch up his moves, which you'll see he's not actually Scarfed. So, I would have probably assumed Grassy MZ at that point to hit my Donphan harder. So I probably could have pivoted out into Chansey on the first Grass Knot on the Grassy MZ. Not saying I would have done this is all theoretical, obviously, because he did set up the rocks and did not kill Beedrill. But I could have done that, I don't know. Play works out how it does. I just get a click Drill Run. This thing goes clean down to Beedrill. And as you're going to see, the Infernape is not Scarfed, so Mega Beedrill just going to clean up this game. 45-turn game. Good game to my friend Jose. We had a very good game. We always have pretty good games. And this advances us to 3-2 in the GPC, and we pick up a +4 differential win. And actually, it's kind of funny, Mega Beedrill and Kyurem are currently the 2 kill leaders for the GPC, 1 and 2, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, those two are putting in a shit ton of work. I'm really enjoying using this team. It's a lot of fun, I gotta say. And honestly, just getting used to this team, like I said, not making those little itty-bitty plays that cost me the game, over-predicting a little bit. So, it's a good game to Jose. We played well, but we have a very tough opponent coming up next week. And he's got it's the Chelsalio. If you're following GPC, he's got a Magirna, so we'll see how we can deal with that thing, because that thing is always a fucking joy to deal with. But until then, boys, I'm gonna be signing off for now. I will catch you guys later.